Hi again and welcome back. This is episode 2 of season 2 and we are currently on our grand tour of Greece. In our previous episode, we discovered Aitoliko Island. If you have missed it, we will leave a link to it in the description below. It is a must-watch episode. Today, we are making our way to another beautiful island located in the Ionian Sea on the west coast of Greece. It is part of the Ionian Islands group and is known for its stunning natural landscapes, crystal-clear waters, and picturesque villages. The island is relatively small, with an area of approximately 302 square kilometers. Despite its size, it boasts diverse geographical features, including beautiful beaches, lush mountains, and charming valleys. As my husband is slowly eating the 150 kilometers distance between Aitoliko and our destination, I am taking the opportunity to show you the beautiful sceneries we witnessed during this 2-hour drive. Guarding the doorway to our destination is this historical fortification known as Santa Maura Castle. It stands proudly at the northern entrance of the bridge, guarding the passage to our destination. It is a symbol of both strength and history, offering a stark contrast to the steel bridge. And we are right now at the doorway of this beautiful island. There is a bridge that connects this enchanting place to the majestic Greek mainland, and it is a poetic marvel that dances across the sparkling Ionian Sea. Next to the castle, we came across this small fishing port. This area is an authentic representation of the island's fishing industry, and you can witness the traditional way of life that has been preserved for generations. Now back to the main event. Our destination is an island called Lefkada Island. This is the iconic bridge that connects Lefkada to the Greek mainland, and it is a striking engineering feat, providing easy access to the island and enhancing its appeal. This accessibility by car sets Lefkada apart from many other Greek islands, as it eliminates the need for a ferry ride or the inconvenience of relying on limited and scheduled ferry services. We reached our hotel, and my jaw literally dropped. My husband has mentioned several times before that he wanted to go to Lefkada, and he has been going on and on about how beautiful this island is. But only when we reached and when I saw it with my own eyes that I was suddenly lost for words. The first surprise was that our hotel was nestled right at the Lefkada Marina, making it a haven for lovers of the sea like us. I have always loved marinas, and this one in particular felt special. It was as a symphony of masts, a ballet of sails, and a testament to the passionate souls who set out to explore the boundless azure waters. Second big surprise was that my husband had booked a room, with a huge terrace, with amazing views right in front and facing the marina. With the doors open, I could feel the soft caress of the Ionian breeze carrying with it the whispers of countless love stories written upon the gentle waves. Okay, enough of drama for now. Time to get out and explore. But first, let us take a short walk around the marina. It is a very well-equipped facility for sailors and yachting enthusiasts visiting the island. The marina provides berthing options for various types and sizes of vessels, including sailing yachts, motorboats, and catamarans. From the looks of it, it definitely has a large number of berths and is equipped with modern docking facilities to ensure the safety and comfort of visiting sailors. As we walked around, I noticed that it offers a wide range of services, including fuel stations, water and electricity hookups, waste disposal facilities, and Wi-Fi access. There are also ship chandleries and boat repair services available for maintenance and repairs. The marina is surrounded by restaurants, cafes, and bars, making it a convenient and enjoyable place to dine and relax after a day at sea. I surely will be able to savor fresh seafood and other traditional Greek dishes, all that, while taking in the views of the harbor. I was already salivating, but my joy was cut short when my husband announced that it was time to drive out and discover other areas. I was hungry after a 2-hour drive. I was slightly reluctant to leave this place without food. But our first stop was just 15 minutes away by car. It was a beautiful religious site called Phaneromini Monastery. Situated on a hill to the west of Lefkada town, the capital of the island, the monastery elevated position offers breathtaking panoramic views of the town and the surrounding area. We will have a chance to see those views a bit later on, but for now, let's go in and pray first. The monastery has a long and storied history dating back to the 17th century. It was founded in 1634, and the complex features beautiful traditional Greek Orthodox architecture. The main church is dedicated to the Assumption of the Virgin Mary and is adorned with Byzantine-style frescoes. We walked around at a slow pace, taking in the traditional Greek Orthodox religious art, architecture, and decorations. The interior of the Phaneromini Monastery is adorned with a collection of icons representing various saints, religious figures, and biblical scenes. Byzantine-style frescoes are also directly applied to the walls and ceilings. These frescoes often depict scenes from the life of Jesus Christ, the Virgin Mary, and various saints. I believe that they also serve as a form of spiritual education and inspiration for visitors. There were several candle holders and chandeliers, which are used during religious services and ceremonies. The iconostasis, a wooden screen or partition covered with icons, is an essential element of Greek Orthodox church interiors. It separates the sanctuary from the main part of the church and serves as a focal point for religious rituals. Inside the monastery, I discovered various religious artifacts, including chalices, crosses, holy relics, and other items used in the church's rituals and ceremonies. Visiting the interior of the Phaneromini Monastery provided me with an opportunity to appreciate the beauty of Greek Orthodox religious art and architecture, as well as to experience the deep spiritual and cultural heritage of the island of Lefkada. And as promised, the breathtaking views. As mentioned, the monastery elevated position offers breathtaking panoramic views of the town and the island. I will leave it to you to appreciate it. The location of the monastery is one of its most captivating features. Its hilltop position offers stunning views of the Ionian Sea, Lefkada town, and the surrounding landscapes, creating a tranquil and serene atmosphere for visitors. The monastery is easily accessible from Lefkada town. It took us less than 15 minutes to drive here. By walk, that could be slightly more challenging due to its hilltop location, but if you are fit, it would be a pleasant walk. And before I forget, the monastery even has its own small zoo. It features some domesticated animals, although most of them are birds and ducks. And I also noticed a couple of cats, and some big but very docile dogs. The monastery has undergone various restoration and preservation efforts over the years to maintain its historical and architectural significance. These efforts have helped ensure that the Phaneromini Monastery continues to be a cherished cultural and spiritual landmark on the island. To make me happy, my husband stopped at an ice cream shop while en route to our next stop. But to my utter disappointment, that ice cream shop did not sell ice cream. So we got back into the car and continued. We are now at this coastal village called Lux Alexandra. I believe that is how it is pronounced. It offers a tranquil atmosphere and crystal clear waters of the Ionian Sea. I could not resist to dip my feet into the pristine waters. The beaches in this area are known for their serene and unspoiled beauty, making them an ideal destination for those seeking a peaceful and relaxing seaside experience. For me in particular, this was a serene and unspoiled coastal experience away from the crowds. I wanted to swim, but I did not bring my swimwear on that occasion. I blamed my husband for this, as he did not inform me that he would be bringing me to nice beaches like this one. So we walked around, and I tried to find out what other hidden gems were left to be discovered at this impossibly beautiful coastal village. And there it was. A small bridge, an Instagram picture perfect spot. And I was drawn to it immediately. We were in mid-October, and no doubt the high season should be over, but I was pleasantly surprised to see that we had this place, almost entirely, all to ourselves. It was magical, beautiful, peaceful. I ran out of words to describe it. So let us just enjoy it together, shall we? If you want a place where you can escape the hustle and bustle of larger tourist destinations, then this is perfect. It offers a peaceful and idyllic setting, making it just right for a quiet retreat or a romantic getaway. I wanted to stay there longer, but my husband told me we still had a lot to see and do. So I took a few more photos and some videos of this place before we go back into the car. Lefkada was turning out to be a really beautiful place and I was starting to fall in love with it. But once I sat in the car, I realized that I was getting very hungry. We had breakfast and nothing else. And it was already way past lunchtime. Soon I will start to get grumpy. And I was hoping that my husband would do something about this. And yes, he did. He brought me to this amazing seafront restaurant that served the best Greek traditional dishes. And it all came with a view. We were lucky, the weather was sunny and beautiful. The temperature was perfect, neither too hot nor too cold. The sea breeze was welcoming and we picked an outdoor table and sat down for lunch. There were much to choose from, and I wanted everything. In addition to seafood, this place served a wide range of traditional Greek dishes, such as moussaka, souvlaki, Greek salads, and grilled meats. The flavors are typically authentic and deeply rooted in Greek culinary traditions. I had a beer. My husband was driving, so he could only have an alcohol-free one. I pity him. Greek hospitality is renowned worldwide, and our beautiful host welcomed us with a smile. She was typically eager to help us choose the dishes and provided recommendations. In the end, we went for a Caesar salad that tasted amazing. We had some grilled meat and some authentic souvlaki that fully satisfied my craving for food. And as the energy level shot back up to 100%, the smile returned to my face. Since I was now energetic and full, my husband decided that our next stop of the day should be a hike to see the Nidri waterfalls. I agreed and we drove there. The road was narrow and windy. It passed through small villages, but there were clear road signs that indicated we were on the right way. Nidri waterfalls are situated on the eastern side of Lefkada, near the coastal town of Nidri. These waterfalls are a popular attraction for visitors to the island, offering a refreshing escape into the lush greenery of the surrounding landscape. However, on that particular day, we were in for a big surprise. Keep watching and I'll tell you more. If you read the brochures and the internet, it says the following. The waterfalls are set in a scenic environment of green vegetation, making the area a peaceful and natural oasis. The water cascades down the rocky cliffs, creating a picturesque sight against the backdrop of the island's rich landscape. To reach the waterfalls, we embarked on a rather pleasant hiking trail that led through a lush forested area. The hike is not overly strenuous and I could even do it wearing my sundress and my slippers. It also offers the opportunity to immerse yourself in the island's natural beauty. Everything was great, but there was something very important missing here. Have you noticed it yet? Well, I was wondering, where is all the water gone? It was supposed to be a hike to a waterfall, but the area was bone dry. The base of the waterfalls was supposed to form a small pool, which is a great spot for a refreshing swim. There was no pool at all there, just a small basin almost devoid of any water. The internet says the cool, clear waters are particularly inviting during the hot summer months. Swimming in the natural pool while surrounded by the verdant landscape is a unique and enjoyable experience. But I was seeing none of that. Perhaps we were in the wrong place. But my husband assured me we were at the right spot. There was no waterfall. Then we realized that Nidri waterfalls may be dry or have reduced water flow during the winter months is primarily due to the region's Mediterranean climate and seasonal variations in rainfall. And if you come in the dry summer season there won't be a torrent, but rather a diaphanous trickle, filling a cold transparent pool at the bottom where people cool off. I was a bit disappointed, but before I could show it, my husband proposed we had coffee at a nearby cafe and that cheered me right back up. We stopped at this cafe called the Plane Tree. It was a beautiful, relaxing and welcoming stop after the hike to the waterfalls. We were in October, so it was not crowded. They served nice coffee, we sat there, enjoyed our drinks, and recovered from the hike. Since I did not bring my swimwear, I was not keen to go to the beaches. Instead I asked my husband if we could explore Lefkada town instead. It was going to get dark soon, and it did not make sense to go to the beach. We will do that tomorrow, and I promise you that Lefkada Part 2 will be even more amazing, so please do not forget to subscribe to our channel if you have not done so yet. On our drive back to town, we stopped by some scenic spots for some more photographs. Lefkada town was right next to our hotel, so the plan was to drive back, park the car and explore the town on foot. But first, let us take a moment to enjoy this view. The drive back to our hotel from the waterfalls should take us about half an hour. Because we stopped along the way for some photos, it took us slightly longer. And even longer now, because we are stopping again. As you may have realized, it is impossible to drive from point A to point B in Lefkada without stopping for a photo. The scenery is just so beautiful and inviting. Let me share with you some historical facts about Lefkada, as it has a rich and diverse one that spans thousands of years. The island of Lefkada has been inhabited since ancient times. It was originally settled by the ancient Greeks, and it played a role in Greek mythology as the homeland of the poet Sappho. In antiquity, the island was known as Leucas. Lefkada, like many Greek regions, was subject to Persian invasions in the 5th century BC. It later came under Roman rule and was integrated into the Roman Empire. In the 13th century, the island fell under Venetian rule and remained so for several centuries. Lefkada came under French and British control during the Napoleonic Wars, but it eventually returned to the British. And finally, Lefkada, along with the rest of the Ionian Islands, was united with Greece in 1864. This event marked the end of foreign rule on the island. As you can see, we are back near our hotel, and I wanted to explore the marina a little more. More specifically, I wanted to see if there were any decent shopping areas around. For me, the marina has a special appeal. With its panoramic views and the promise of adventure on the high seas, it feels like it is a place where hearts are entwined, where lovers set sail on a voyage of passion and discovery. It's a place where the poetry of love meets the timeless serenade of the sea, creating a canvas for romance that will linger in your heart forever. My husband asked me to wake up and to stop dreaming and dragged me along towards the town. Along the way, we passed by several restaurants, where the freshest seafood and fine wines are shared with your beloved against the backdrop of the moonlit harbor. The stars above twinkle like diamonds, casting their blessings upon those who have found love amidst the lapping waves. I was still dreaming, right? That must be the food coma. All right, time to wake up and get a move on. Lefkada town is the capital and primary administrative center of the island. This charming town is popular for its small alleys and its overall charm. So the alleys are where we should start exploring then. The alleys boast a blend of traditional Greek island architecture and neoclassical buildings. The narrow streets and the alleys are lined with colorful houses adorned with bougainvillea, creating a postcard-perfect setting. The town's small alleys, often referred to as cantonia, wind through the town, forming a maze of charming passageways. These alleys are perfect for leisurely strolls and exploration. Lefkada town is located on the island's eastern coast, offering a scenic waterfront promenade. The town comes alive during various events and festivals throughout the year. These celebrations often feature traditional music, dance, and cultural displays, providing an opportunity to immerse yourself in the local way of life. The town has several cultural attractions, including churches, museums, and historical landmarks. And let's not forget the shopping. I noticed that the towns had several shops that sell fashion wares and leather products. I should make some time to pay them a visit soon. As we walked around, we were happy that it was not crowded. We read that Lefkada town exudes a vibrant atmosphere, especially during the summer months when it becomes a bustling hub of activity. It then becomes a place where locals and tourists come together to enjoy the island culture and hospitality. Lefkada town is home to a variety of restaurants and tavernas offering a wide array of cuisine, from traditional Greek dishes to international options. Seafood is a highlight, with freshly caught fish and other marine delights prepared to perfection. Greek specialties, such as moussaka, souvlaki, and Greek salads, can be savored at many local eateries. The town is also dotted with cafes and bakeries where you can enjoy coffee, pastries, and traditional Greek sweets like baklava and loukoumades. These cozy spots are perfect for a leisurely breakfast or afternoon pick-me-up. The central square of Lefkada town, Platea Agios Spiridon, is a bustling hub of activity. It is named after the island's patron saint, Saint Spiridon, whose church is located in the square. There are various cafes advertising the words sweet as well as salty. But one thing caught my eyes. The word ice cream. My husband has promised me ice cream since this morning, and this is one promise he has yet to fulfill. As we walked around the town, I noticed several shops selling delicious and colorful-looking pastries. I reminded my husband about the ice cream promised, and he punched some address on the Google map on his phone, and we set off. We walked past some alleys, but it appeared that all the shops there were closed. And then we came across some more tavernas and restaurants, with a few of them having customers enjoying an alfresco meal and drinks. Then there were more souvenirs shops, selling magnets, clothing, and other local products. And finally, at the corner of one of the alleys, this ice cream shop popped up. I was going to request for double serving. One for this morning, for the promise not yet fulfilled, and one more just in case there were no more ice cream shops along the way. I also wanted one more for the evening. My husband kindly entertained my request and bought me 2 servings of ice cream. And this made my day. After finishing the delicious ice cream, we quickly left the place and walked deeper into town, before I started to experience sugar rush. There was one landmark in the northern part of Lefkada town which we wanted to visit. We read that there is a Venetian-style canal in this part of town with a small wooden bridge that connects the northern part of Lefkada town to the island mainland. We are slightly confused. There was a bridge that connects Lefkada to mainland Greece, that one was clear, we drove across it this morning. But now there was another bridge that connects the northern part of town to the mainland of the island itself. We had to see it for ourselves. And indeed there it was, Lefkada Wooden Bridge. If you need a landmark to locate it, then search for Hotel Boschetto. It is a popular accommodation option for tourists visiting Lefkada, and our little bridge is just next to it. While I was taking some photographs of the surrounding, my husband was busy taking a video of a man on a small boat. He following the movement of this small boat even as it disappeared under the bridge and resurfaced on the other side. I feel that instead he should have been helping me to take some photographs in order to capture this beautiful moment in time. And beautiful it was indeed. The sun was gradually getting lower and the color of the sky was starting to change slowly, marking the end of the day, and setting the perfect mood for sunset. We were walking along an arrow-straight path, in the direction of the setting sun. On our left was the town, in between the path and the town was a canal, and to our right was the sea. It was one of those experiences that you know will be part of your memory for a very long time. Along the way, as you have seen, there were various points of interest, or to put it plainly, stopovers for the perfect photo-taking session. My husband was busy walking behind me, or from time to time, running in front of me, to get a video footage of me walking towards him. In a way, I was glad that he was not complaining, or at least not yet. As we reached towards the end of the walkway, the path veered to the left. The access on the right, towards the sea, was closed and blocked due to some construction work. So we turned left, and I suddenly noticed a number of small fishes dancing in the water. At first, I did not pay close attention, and then once I noticed them, I made sure that my husband did get them on tape. They were dark in color, and I am not good at naming them. Do you recognize what breed they are? Then we walked past the Archaeological Museum of Lefkada. It is supposed to house the cultural treasures of the island, from the Middle Paleolithic period to the Late Roman period, showing the evolution of its history. But I was not so sure that it still did when I saw the state which the building was. Perhaps it was under renovation. So we decided we had gone far enough, and we turned back to explore the small alleys of Lefkada town some more. However, this time, we sticked onto the pavement, and we did not take the same pathway that we used earlier. My husband commented that I looked like a coast guard, sitting and watching over the small boats floating over the canals. We spent some time trying to decipher if these vase-like ornaments that were hanging had any meaning. Would any of you know what are they for? Or do they have any significance? If not, let us carry on. Once more, we took to the small alleys, and this time round, we did not rely on the GPS. We decided to just follow our instinct. My husband then commented that the town had a strong Venetian influence, and this was reflected in the architecture of the alleys. Some alleys featured arches, stone-paved streets, and other elements reminiscent of the Venetian period. And I agreed with him. With the exception of this amazing colorful Cuban-style looking restaurant. It was my responsibility as a digital creator to take some photos there. Later we found out that a Cuban family owns the place and play live music and serve their guests in the most authentic and caring way. Then minutes later, we found ourselves back at the central square of Lefkada. We had walked for quite some time now. Daylight started to fade and the temperature was slowly starting to dip. Gradually day turned to night and it seemed that the town started to come alive. The crowd started to emerge and the alleys came to life with a vibrant nightlife scene. It appeared that more shops were now open, and the restaurants pushed their tables further out onto the pavements. I took this opportunity to do some window shopping, to see if there was anything worth buying. Soon we came across another ice cream shop, but I was too full to eat anything. In fact, I am still too full to have dinner. I guess we can skip dinner for tonight. The Agios Nikolaos Church in Lefkada town is dedicated to Saint Nicholas, who is a widely venerated saint in the Eastern Orthodox Christian tradition. The church serves as a place of worship for local Orthodox Christians. Saint Nicholas, the patron saint of the church, is a beloved figure in the Orthodox tradition and is often associated with protection, especially for sailors and those at sea. Since I was not hungry enough for dinner, I thought what else would make me happy. Then I thought, how about a drink, maybe one of those cocktails. So my husband brought me to a small but charming-looking cafe bar, printed and nicely decorated with a touch of modern art. It is called CMYK Art Cafe. We chose an outdoor seating, and as we ordered our drinks, we noticed that the crowd in town was getting larger by the minute. Could you guys guess what I ordered? My husband was not very original, he ordered a coffee. Perhaps he was getting tired after all. We had a long day and he had been busy taking photos and videos. As for myself, I ordered a margarita, which I enjoyed very much. We sat there, watching the crowd pass by and watching how nightlife unfolded in this lovely town. As you will now see, I was wearing a jacket. It was now dark and it was chilly, or was it because of the cocktail I just had? And as we mentioned, the streets were now crowded. It was lively, and it seemed that the entire town had decided to visit this part of town, all at the same time. While we were not in the peak summer season and while it may not have as vibrant a nightlife scene as some of the more well-known Greek party destinations like Mykonos or Santorini, Lefkada town still offered a pleasant and enjoyable nightlife. The town is dotted with various bars, tavernas, and cafes, especially along the waterfront and in the town center. However, I do not think that Lefkada town is particularly known for its clubbing scene. I could find only a few small nightclubs that cater to those looking for a dance and party atmosphere. For those hardcore partygoers, they should perhaps look elsewhere. But for us, it was perfect. If you are in Lefkada, you should also try the various type of sausages and cured meats. In particular, there are two famous sausages there, known as saltsuk lukumi and pastorma. Kindly forgive me if I have totally mispronounced these two names. In the captivating journey through the stunning landscapes and vibrant culture of Lefkada, we had only just scratched the surface of what this remarkable island has to offer. But the adventure is far from over. Stay tuned for part 2 of our exploration as we delve even deeper into the hidden gems. We will literally drive around the entire island and bring you to the best beaches the island has to offer, and trust me, it will blow your mind. Don't miss out on the next chapter of this incredible journey. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and join us for the next installment of our Lefkada adventure. Until then, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and keep the spirit of Lefkada alive in your heart. Thank you for joining us on this incredible voyage.